Governor Kim Reynolds passes Iowa's version of Don't Say Gay. Governor Kim Reynolds has signed a sweeping education law that orders the removal from schools of books that contain sex acts and restricts teaching about LGBTQ+ topics. The new Iowa law, also known as SF 496, prohibits instruction relating to gender identity or sexual orientation to students in kindergarten through 6th grade. The law also requires school administrators to notify parents if their child, quote, requests an accommodation related to their gender identity, including using a name or pronoun that is different from the one assigned to the student in the school's district registration forms or records, end quote. When it comes to books, the law puts restrictions on school libraries for students in kindergarten through 12th grade. The libraries can only have books deemed age appropriate, which according to the law excludes any materials with, quote, descriptions or visual depictions of a sex act, end quote. According to PEN America, there were more book bans across the country during the fall 2022 semester than in each of the prior 2 semesters. The bans were most prevalent in Texas, Florida, Missouri, Utah, and South Carolina. About 1/3 of the titles banned are books about race or racism or feature characters of color. The part of the story that is resonates the most with me is the book bans. I think we're getting labeled that book bans are impacting just our community, and I think I want to bring this to light just amongst our LGBTQ because we're fighting about this. But it is erasing, of course, the Black history. It is erasing Indigenous people. It is erasing the stories of slavery and the Civil War. The Diary of Anne Frank is on the banned book list, and we need to use this moment to get with our allies across different factions of where these book bans are really impacting us, because I think that's where we create allyship and we fight back against these things. Yeah. And the second thing is I wanted to give just a quick shout out to Clementine Springsteen, who recently received an award in Ohio for the Governor's Scholar Program, and while on stage with the governor, yelled out "Trans Lives Matter" on stage. Nice. So thank you, Clementine, for sharing your voice and fighting back against this governor.
Yeah, the part I guess that gets to me, being a healthcare person, is this age appropriateness and this idea that sex and sexuality is somehow bad and something that shouldn't be discussed and something that they're turning it into this thing like we're in the puritanical 1700s or something. Sex is not bad. Right. People should recognize and be able to have conversation. America's always been weird about that, right? Yeah. Europeans will walk around in a topless beach, nobody even notice. In America, everything is like this weird. They let religion and these different things influence things, but that stuff isn't real. You know what I mean? And in real life, I was in kindergarten when I decided that I thought Susie was cute. You know what I mean? It's like, what are you talking about? What are you afraid to discuss exactly? Who hurt you when you were a kid that you have such a weird,
or
fearful,
what's in your head?
a weird, fearful, thing? Right? A weird, fearful idea about something that is the most natural thing on the planet. And why aren't we treating it like it's natural and loving? And why are we treating it as something that needs to be hushed and hidden and it's bad and oh my gosh? I'm like, and at the same time they're like, well, the kids are bad in school because we don't have enough God in school. It's like, have you read the Bible yet? There is more rape and incest than murder, and it's like, so what are you doing actually? They have to stop. The ideas of schools being safe spaces for our kids is one of the most important things that we have going. Homes are not always safe. Homes are really not always safe for LGBTQ students. You want to out second graders because they're like, oh, I want my name to be Johnny today? You want to out like a second grader who like, give me a break.
Or a second grader that has 2 daddies or 2 mommies.
This is what I mean. This is dangerous.
Or
it's not healthy.
Make them feel like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's just not, it's dangerous. It's not healthy. They need to stop. Whoever the powers that be, they need to stop giving into this nonsense.
They're not going to stop.
It's just ridiculous.
We need to fight back.
Well,
it's ridiculous.
And then this right now is, the powers who be, the powers who are in power at the moment, they're trying to erase history so we can rewrite history to match the story and the narrative that they're providing.
But it's too late for that.
And what happens is because the older generation, you know, is.
Why'd you look at me for that?
Well, 'cause you're a little bit older, so I know you probably have a little more
It's
history.
the old
with
white
this.
man. Let's just even
but-
For historical reference,
yeah, historical reference, exactly. But we see that happen across the globe, where chunks of our history are basically removed from the record books. And if you're not a historian, then you wouldn't even know something has happened.
Yeah.
There's some celebrities right now who are taken to like Instagram, and I want to say it was like Brad Pitt or something, or maybe it was no, it was probably Brad Pitt. I don't even remember. I'm sorry, I'm terrible at names, but they came out to tell them about. Actually, it wasn't Brad Pitt. It was the man called Otto guy. What's his name?
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. Okay.
Girl, we
Sorry,
wow,
Tom.
sorry,
okay?
Brad Pitt.
you gotta go on pyramid together, Josie. I'm telling
Yeah.
you.
I'm sorry, my brain doesn't work anymore as it used to. But so Tom Hanks came out and he started talking about Black history here in the United States, and he's being very vocal about the book bans. And like you said, this is not just about the LGBT. This is about the history of many of our marginalized communities, and they're just trying to basically erase us. So we just stop teaching. And then you talk about indoctrination. That's what I'm so concerned here with. It's like, they're the biggest hypocrites on the planet right now. When you talk about what's indoctrination? Are you not indoctrinating people by removing the history, the reality, the truth of our
Totally,
world
that's what
history,
they're doing.
and then feeding them with what you want us to know?
Exactly.
Come on, you
It's
know.
been done before, over
right.
and over and
That
over.
word we like here,
got
gaslight.
Hitler, we got
Yeah.
Mussolini, we have
Gaslight, the
Genghis
ultimate gaslight.
Khan.
That's
all of
right.
them.
But they didn't have
Nothing new.
technology. We have technology.
Right.
So you can take the book out of the library, but everybody's
But
got
that's
like
our gift.
Kindle on their phone. Like you can download any book on the planet with a
You
touch
said
of a
that-
button.
You said that last week, and so
Yeah.
now I'm posting on my social media
Yeah.
the banned books.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Broward
Good.
County Library
Yeah.
has the banned book
Yeah,
list.
you can get them for free. It's
Yeah.
like, come on,
And
you can't
Here it is,
stop us.
technology. Have a read.
Yeah.
Well, and
Yeah.
that's back to the point, to draw the line to the point you made a couple moments ago, is that it's too late for kids. But the right wing fascists are hoping that this is their last shot, that they can basically, the second graders today will not even realize they're in a closet when they're 12th graders 10 years from now, because
Right.
they haven't just been pushed back into the closet, it's been drilled shut because they're afraid to come out and say. And then the class of 2040 will not even know they're in a closet because everything is so hushed, everything is so back to the 1960s, 1970s. That's their goal. Will it succeed? Probably not, but it means we need to fight for these kids. We need to fight for the class of 2040, which is just now being born.
I mean, the school right now, the kids in school are dodging bullets. Like they have these things where they have to pretend like they're gonna get slaughtered by guns, and they have to hide. I'm like, what
horrible to
in the
begin
world
with.
is going on with?
And we're
Then
worried
they-
about bullets.
Then they want, and then they want people like armed policemen walking around the school like it's a prison, threatening them with like, oh my God, if you do something wrong, we're gonna like take you to jail. What are you talking about? These are kids. Then they're like, sex is bad. You can't talk to your friend. You can't. It's like, what in the world? This is complete insanity.
Let's just
This
look
is not
back
the
at
way
how
you
this
have a
country
civilized
started.
society at all.
They came in.
Yes.
The criminals from England. Nothing wrong with criminals, but you know, you got on a boat, you took a risk, and then you came in and you slaughtered indigenous people, slaughtered them, enslaved people of color.
Yeah.
Built this whole country was built on killing people
Yeah.
and enslaving people, and the kids need to know that so it doesn't happen again.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Never
Amen.
again.
That's right.
We are Queer News Tonight, the world's first and only live daily LGBTQ+ evening news show from Happening Out Television Network. In the model of PBS and NPR, we educate, inform, and entertain by supporting the 10 pillars of the LGBTQ+ community, with more than 100,000 a week watching on Roku, Apple Television, and other channels. To keep the stories going, we accept donations with 100% transparency. Stay updated and live authentically with Queer News Tonight.